Hey, it's Ivana. Today I wanted to switch it up a little bit and talk to you about the biggest organ on your body. What is it? Your skin. And different problems you could be experiencing with your skin and your makeup. So a lot of times we just put on our makeup and it just kind of looks funky or wonky and we don't really know what's going on. It's just not applying right. The tone is just kind of turning gray, it's turning yellow, you're looking washed out, but you know the color is the perfect color for you. It could be something going on with your skin. So things that affect the way you apply your makeup are going to be like your skin tone, your skin type, and your hydration level. So it's very important to know like kind of where your face is at and where your skin is at in regards to all those things before you're applying your makeup or just in your everyday life, because you could be cleansing your face wrong, you could be using the wrong makeup, you could be doing things that are actually doing more harm to your skin instead of building your skin up and making it look better. We're going to be talking about the basic skin type, skin tone, and skin hydration level, how to tell what type of skin you have, what your undertone is, and your hydration level in your actual skin. And I want to talk to you about how excited I am. I just bought this wreath for Christmas time. Once Halloween's here, it's like all bets are off the table and it's Christmas time, and I'm so happy about this wreath. So first we're going to be talking about your skin type, what kind of skin you actually have. A lot of people think, oh, I have oily skin, oh, I have dry skin, but they've never actually tested their skin. So I'm going to talk about how. Okay, so first things first, you want to completely cleanse and tone your face. You don't want to put any moisturizers on you just because we want to see what your skin is like before you hydrate and add products to it. After you cleanse and tone your face, you're going to want to let your face rest a little bit just for several minutes to let your skin kind of get itself going again. So I have completely cleansed my face and I don't have any face makeup on right now. So what we're looking for in skin type, we're gonna wanna see what our cheeks do. So if you have problems with your cheeks getting oily, they get really shiny, just this general area, you probably have an oily skin type. My skin type tends to be a little more oily, and I get these little tiny bumps that I think are pimples, but when I try to pop them or extract them, just oil comes out. That's also another indication you have an oily skin type. A lot of people think they have oily skin because this gets really oily. That is completely natural for any skin type. Dry skin types, this won't really get oily. So if this T-zone, if you don't ever have problems there, if your nose never really gets oily or you never get really oily up here on your chin, or if your cheeks are extremely dry and you never see oil here and your T-zone very rarely gets really oily, you probably have a dry skin type. If you have dry cheeks and an oily T-zone, and off and on, just depending, you can kind of get oil on your cheeks, sometimes you can't. You kind of can't tell which way you're going. You probably have a normal skin type. Normally you'll lean more a little bit to normal to dry or normal to oily. I lean a little more oily. My oil isn't out of control, but I'm definitely not dry. So just because you have spot dryness on your face does not mean you're dry. If you feel it and you feel dry, it can also be a sign of dehydration. So that brings us into the hydration level. The hydration level of your skin kind of just reflects on how much water you're drinking and a lot of times where you live. So right now I'm living in New Mexico and it is extremely dry here, especially going into fall. The weather is so dry, it's ridiculous. My hands crack, my skin will crack sometimes, and I get spot dryness just depending on the time of year. Allergies also cause dryness. Right now my allergies are really bad. I'm getting dry here and kind of up my nose and all in this area. It could be from blowing my nose a lot. I'm constantly rubbing my nose. I'm constantly rubbing my eyes because I'm all itchy in my face. That's definitely a factor. It can also be due to the different kinds of products. If you're constantly cleansing your face with one thing and then you switch over to another thing, a lot of times your skin can have a little freak out stage or a little detoxification stage is what big skincare companies call it, where your skin doesn't really know what to do and it kind of dries it out before it readjusts to what you're doing. So since I started at Aveda, I've been using a lot of the Aveda products. So my skin is experiencing some dryness everywhere I use the products. Although throughout the day, I do notice my skin getting oily again. So it's not changing my skin type to dry, it's just drying out my skin, if that makes sense. Also, when I started school, my water intake definitely dropped badly. And I definitely can notice it in my skin. Right now, if I do this motion, or I talk, or I open my mouth, or I just feel it, I can feel dryness on my skin. Also, my skin kind of feels tight. I have been a little more on the dehydrated side just because I have not been drinking enough water during my school hours. And that does play a big part of it. A lot of times if you're dehydrated, your makeup also won't go on as nicely and your skin will kind of try to suck up all the moisture it can. because it's not getting a lot of like internal hydration. So if you ever see people that just have like really, really radiant, just really smooth makeup on, they're probably pretty hydrated, or they just have really oily skin to begin with. So water is definitely like the most important thing you can do for your skin, other than not going out in the sun for hours on end. So we're gonna go into talking about your skin tone, what the undertone of your skin is, how you look, what kind of makeup you wear with your tones, all that good stuff. So the tone of your skin is like what undertones you have in your skin. They can be yellow, they can be pink, they can be just really neutral, so it doesn't look like you really have a specific color under your skin. The redness that you see on your face is not an indication of your tone. I have like naturally pink reddish cheeks and a little bit on my chin. It's just like spot redness. That does not mean that I'm warm, and that does not mean I'm cool. It's just what the condition is on my face. So for your tone, you do want to look at the veins on your body. I don't know how well you can see them, but if you look at my veins, they don't exactly pop out blue and they don't exactly pop out green. It's almost kind of like a mixture, and you can't really see them too intensely. My skin tone is actually more of a neutral, slightly into the warmish area, but I tend to fall more into the neutral category. If you have a cool skin tone, your veins are gonna appear blue, and if you have a warm skin tone, your veins are gonna appear green. Generally, people with olive skin have more of like a neutral skin tone. Another good way to tell your skin tone is jewelry. If you tend to look better in golden jewelry, you probably have a more warm skin tone versus in silver jewelry where you have a cooler skin tone. If your skin is neutral, you can go either way. I can generally go either way. My nose ring is silver, my earrings are gold, I'm wearing a gold headband, sometimes I wear silver necklaces. Doesn't really matter. No one's ever told me anything looks like funky on me. If you put on a silver necklace and you're like, oh, that just doesn't look good, or oh, it looks a little funky, you probably have a warm skin tone. Whereas if you put on a gold necklace or bracelet and you look at it and think it looks a little like yellow, or the color doesn't mesh right with your skin, you probably have a cooler skin tone. Also, your skin complexion has nothing to do with your skin tone. You can be very dark and have a cool skin tone, and you can be very light and have a warm skin tone. And for the longest time I thought, oh well, I'm darker than a lot of my pale skinned friends, so I must have a warm skin tone, they must have a cool skin tone. So I would buy all this warm toned makeup and apply it, and I would wonder why my face looked a little gray, or why I looked a little too yellow, or like just off. Turns out I was actually more of a neutral, and a lot of my foundation and my hair colors and things I wear have to be more ash toned to kind of mesh well with my skin. So on the topic of skin tones, foundations. Have you ever put on a foundation that makes your skin just kind of gray, or you look almost yellowy and it just doesn't look right, like you can't tell what's wrong? There's nothing wrong with the color, but the tone may be off. It's the foundation you're buying. So a lot of times foundations can oxidize and make your skin look funky, or the tone is off. So if you're a warm tone and you buy a cool tone foundation, a lot of times your skin will look like pale, it can look kind of gray, you can get like weird splotchiness, like it just doesn't blend right. It's the tone. So most companies will actually have like a cool, neutral, and a warm skin line. My favorite drugstore foundation at the moment is the L'Oreal True Match, the Lumi. So I buy these in the warm line. They're both W3. This one looks fantastic on my face. This one makes my skin a little too gray. As much as I love this, I always have to mix it. This one does match me well, especially during summertime. Also with foundation, a lot of times if they don't specify whether it's cool or warm, and you think the shade fits you and it just ends up being a little funky, it might be because it oxidizes. So oxidizing is when the product hits air and it kind of changes its color. Sometimes the tone that the foundation oxidizes to isn't necessarily the tone on your face. So for this example, I'm going to use the Urban Decay Urban Defense. This is like a BB cream SPF. This color looks great on me when I first put it on, but after a couple minutes it oxidizes and it turns a little like warm brownish and kind of just looks really muddy on my skin. So when I first apply this color on my skin, it does blend in well. I would have to blend it out, but after a couple minutes it does start turning a little too warm and too brown for me and my skin tone. So we're gonna let this sit a little bit. See how it kind of changed tones and it looks a little orangey? Yeah, that's not nice on my face. So if I go back in with another shade of it, you'll notice the difference in the tones. And there's the second. See how much different they both apply? This one's really dark and this one's really light, and here in a couple seconds, this one will start turning dark also. So also on tone, that's how you can tell a lot of times if a lip color doesn't look right on you, it's probably because the undertones in the lip color doesn't match the undertone of your skin. Because I tend to hang out in the neutral warm range, I look really good in nudes, colors that don't have a really cool tone or warm tone to them. They're just kind of like an in-between, really ashy tones. I can also dip a little bit into the cool and a little bit into the warm. So for example, I love this Makeup Forever pink lipstick. This is the shade, I think 51, I can't really tell. It all like rubbed up on the bottom. So I love this shade. It's not too light for me. I do have lipstick that's lighter. It's just the tone of it. So this has like really blue, purpley undertones. So when I wear it, it does turn out a little too purpley pinky. So see how it kind of makes me look like my lips are almost glowing in the dark, kind of like, it's just kind of like black. Like if you saw me wearing it, you'd be like, oh, that's not really a flattering shade on you. It's because it has really, really, really cool undertones. Whereas if you're cool skinned, it would definitely blend well and mesh well on your skin tone. Yeah, so we're just gonna take that off. So your skin tone also affects the kind of eyeshadows you wear and how they blend in with your tone. That also kind of comes into play like with your eye color, so that's a little more tricky. There are certain things that I can't wear because they're very cool. Like the Naked 2 palette looks awful on me. It looks great on some people. I can't stand it. All the colors look silver and like pale on my eyes and they just don't look good, whereas the Naked 3 palette looks amazing because the Naked 3 palette has warm undertones. They're more rosy, they're more golden, and the Naked 2 has more silver undertones and they just turn out like really cool and silver and not nice on me. A lot of colors in my Morphe Fall into Frost palette are very, very, very warm and they're like a red brick or like blood red colored and they don't flatter my skin tone at all either. So I have to kind of be like an in-between of both. I can't really go like either way too hard. So I think that's really all I wanted to cover about your skin. Hopefully now if you are having problems with your makeup or with your cleansing routine, you can kind of pinpoint the issue and fix it. If you still have questions, concerns, or any comments, anything regarding your skin, absolutely comment. I'll reply back to you and we can talk more about it. I hope you learned a little bit more about your skin. It's always good to know about your skin. Your skin is the largest organ on your body and it's the first organ anybody sees. So as always, subscribe for more. #HateSivana. Find me on Instagram. All that good stuff. I hope you have a great day. Go have fun. Thanks for watching. Now go drink a big glass of water for your skin.